Welcome to a new episode of Triggre Weekend Masterclass, and in this episode I'm going to explain you how you can apply an interface to check the VAT of a company to your application. So let's start at looking at the application itself and how it works, and after that I'm going to show you and explain you how it works in the designer so you can build it yourself. So what we have here in this application is a very simple form to add a company, and when I click add, you can see that there's a company name. I can add a department, and I can add the VAT number. Well, to make it easier for myself, I already filled out the VAT number of Triggre, but normally that would be empty, of course. And what the system does in this case is that when the VAT number is empty, it will just store the company name, and if the VAT number is filled out, it will perform the VAT check with an online database to check if it's a correct VAT number and store that number as well. So we have the company name Triggre and the VAT number of Triggre, and when I click done, the system will automatically check the VAT number and show you the result. So as you can see, it's a valid VAT number. We made the request at vatlayer.com, which has a free account which you can use for 100 checks every month. And this is the VAT number that we checked, and we received a country code, the company name, and even the company address. Looks pretty awesome, right? And if I would add a company name without a VAT number, it will do nothing. Triggre without VAT. There you go. Done. There you go. No check will be made. So let's go to the designer and see what we've created. So I'm going to start this time at the user flow so you can see how that looks like. Then we'll go to the flow parts and see how the actual connection is made with this interface. So we go to design, user flows, and in this case it was the user flow companies. And when you add a company, you can see the flow here already. So you add a company, we save it, and then we check if the VAT number is empty or not. If it's not empty, we do the API check VAT, and we show the results. And if the VAT number is empty, then we automatically go back to the company overview. And of course, what we do in this case at the API check VAT, the flow part itself, we have an input, and that's the company we just created, because we need to check a specific company, of course. So let's go to the flow part itself, and at the flow parts we have the API check VAT. So like I said, we have an input which is the company itself. We also have there you go, this is the company. We also request some application settings where we stored the username and password of the interface. And here you see the interface connection itself. So let's see how that looks. So we link it to a specific URL. It will be a post action. In this case, we have a specific way of creating the request. And in this case, we use an access key, which, as you can see, is stored at the application settings, the VAT layer API access key. And we have to send as a query parameter the VAT number itself. So it's inputs, company, and then the VAT number. This interface is a little bit different than a normal REST API, but it's very important to check the specifics of the interface at the company who offers the interface itself. They have specifics, descriptions, please read them carefully and then set it up as described. Then we click next, next. And what we see here, of course, we get a return because we send out to the interface a VAT number and we would like to know if it's valid or not. And here's what you see. So all the items that I just showed in the application, we get that as a response. So the country code, the database, if the format is valid, the company name and address, the VAT number itself, what we asked, and if it's valid, yes or no. So you can define this yourself. You know, if there are any other properties, you can add it by creating it yourself. As easy as this. Test. There you go. Now I also expect a property called test. I'm going to remove it right now because that's not what we need. There you go. Next. And the interface has been created. Well, the interesting part, what happens right now, is that the interface can return status codes, and we're always looking for the 200 status code because that means that the interface has been executed properly, and that we get a response, an OK response, let's put it like that. Every other status code is an error. And as soon as we get the status code from the interface, as you can see here, so we have the check VAT, response, and we've got a content type and a status code and all the different data, of course, that we can retrieve that you can see here. And in this case, we would like to know the status code. And if that's 200, then we are going to save the result, in this case, at the company itself. There you go. We're going to mark it as that the VAT has been checked on a specific date, and we're only going to mark if it's valid or not, because that's the only thing that we would like to know. And that's it. Then you created a VAT check. Did you like this video? Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.